Hello guys, and welcome to this video where I will show you some tips and tricks for the metal background patterns. Mostly how to use the mats to create some custom designs. We'll see some of these examples how are made. So the patterns include the PNG files here as well, which you will find the mat here, the masks of each pattern, the inner and the outer. Find some grunge textures, tilleable of course, especially this one is very big to make really cool big results, and some noise backgrounds of course for custom design. So let's see, the most important thing is we'll just make a new layer and fill it with a color. Double click here. I will remove the fill opacity here on the blending options and go to pattern overlay. We'll see the patterns which begin from here. If you hold above your mouse, you will see their name. So the most important thing is how you can make these patterns, change their background, change their lighting and anything else. So let's say for example this one. This is the pattern. I will Control J this layer just to make a copy. Now we'll go in here with the fill opacity removed. I will put the matte, which goes straight on the inner part because it's the inner matte and the outer part. So let's see what we can do with these patterns. If we right click and sure you can see it now, right click and convert to smart object. Right now it has created the layer, and if we go inside we can see it's the smart object. Anyway, if we hold Control and click here on the layer thumbnail, it will select the selection of the pattern. So right now if I go into the pattern here and click the layer mask thumbnail, right now it made holes. It kept basically only the outside of the pattern. And here, by clicking on the layer mask here, by going pressing Control I, we can invert the selection and we have the inner part. So we'll do the following. We will duplicate this pattern again. One will be the outer. This is the outer. This is the inner. We'll put the inner on top. So what we can do with this now, because it has the layer mask of the matte. So let's say want to make some, don't know, outer glow, anything we want actually. This is a cool thing to do with these patterns. Anyway, the most important thing is the bevel and emboss. If we reset here default, put normal here and put black and white and increase the size here, maybe you want it hard here. So right now, if I remove this, if we change the lighting here, the light will go anywhere you want. So you get the idea. If you have a realistic scene, you want to make the lighting, you can do it this way. You can of course put drop shadows, but it will be a little difficult with this pattern to see, so I will change the pattern. Just delete the layer mask. I will put a little flat pattern, for example this one. Just copy the layer style, paste it here. We'll do the matte right now. So here it has the it has the old matte. We'll go inside, just change the matte to the new pattern, this one, save it with Ctrl S, close it, and here's the matte. We hold Ctrl and click on the layer thumbnail. Right now it's the inner, so we'll go here on the inner, press the layer mask here, and again one time click the matte, but this time holding Alt here. So right now we have the outer part of the pattern and the inner part. This pattern in particular and some others were intentionally made without any shadows and a little flat, so you can do this this type of drop shadows, so it can suit your project a little better, because you might want a little shadow falling to the left. You can, in Photoshop CC 2015 and 14 I think, you can click the plus icon and you get a new copy of the drop shadow. You can create basically many copies. So like this, you can put bevel and emboss again, which are these settings here, all of this. You can change the lighting. So let's say we want the lighting coming from down left. We'll put also the drop shadow coming from down left, and now it's much more realistic. You can create more layers to make it a little more realistic for the shadows, even more layers, but in low opacity. Okay, now the fun part on the outer part, the fun part with the noise backgrounds. Right now, because we have the matte on a layer mask here, we can go in here and use some of the noise backgrounds or do any crazy stuff, but I will put the size on 100. It will be a little difficult to see right now, but yeah, with this way I made some pre-made noise backgrounds that you can use to change the style of the pattern. Another cool thing is to duplicate the inner part. Just clear the layer style, go again inside it, remove the fill opacity, and put another layer of bevel and emboss to make it more realistic. So just take a look at this. You have created some wicked patterns just with some simple steps. So another step, we'll just make a new layer, fill it. I will double click here, go to the pattern overlay, and we'll see the grunge patterns, which are amazing. They are made from some rocks, just made them black and white. Just put the overlay mode, perhaps reduce the opacity. You can of course put multiply only, color burn, anything you want actually. And this guy, which is the second bevel, it doesn't have a pattern if you watch closely the video. So we can add the pattern here. We can add again the grunge, which is down here, grunge number 2 perhaps, which right now is on 25% scale. These patterns are very big. So we go here, just dirt up the inner part. You can move the pattern. This is the grunge 1. We can move the pattern here just by going over it when we are here. So it's on 25%. We might want 50% or even more, 100, etc. I don't recommend putting so small sizes because this pattern is very big on purpose. Anyway, let's see another tip to make them even more realistic. I will just create another layer, fill it again. I will go this time, put a gradient overlay. I will create a little gradient here, a reflected one. Doesn't matter so much the color, just be well, maybe not reflected because we can't make details, but something like this. I will put this now on maybe color dodge, not color dodge, put it on screen. I will just for the ease of this just use a desaturated one because the blue was a little weird. You can put it on overlay, but right now there is too much going on to make this type of effect, but you can see it more clearly like this, which is this, the gradient. Just makes the background a little more dramatic, more customized. We can do something like this. You can put this on not radial, on angle mode, just to create variations. You can even leave that on normal. Or use only the black ones with multiply. Anyway, I think you get the point here. Anyway, we can, if we want a background, we can make a curves adjustment like you see. Do this, something like this, and take the elliptical marquee tool, select the inner part here, go to select, modify feather. You can put here like 150 depending on your document size, and just delete with delete here, and this creates a little vignette which is much better more dramatic for a background. You might want to duplicate it like that. So I think you get the point with this. You can just remove I think you get the point. So thanks again and have fun. Let me know if you need any help. Thank you, happy creations. Bye.